Hi, this is Russ Jeffers from mobileburn.com and androidauthority.com, and here with me today I've got the HTC Desire, as you can see here. This is HTC's latest Android device with a 1 GHz Snapdragon processor and a large AMOLED 3.7-inch capacitive touchscreen. We'll move on to the phone slightly later. We're just going to look at the box first, see what we get with it. Quick unboxing for you. First of all, we've got a 1400 mAh battery, quite a thin battery as you can see. And that just pops straight in the back of the Desire, which we'll show you in a moment. We also have a USB data cable, which can be used for both data and charging. You can see USB on one end and micro USB on the other, and that just plugs straight into the bottom of the Desire, as you can see there. That can be plugged into this wall socket part here, so as you see we've got USB on one end, and at the other end we can affix the appropriate attachment for whichever country we're in. So as we're in the UK, we've got a UK plug here, and that just slides straight into the top, and then you can plug the USB into the bottom there to charge the device. And then lastly we have a set of 3.5mm headphones. You can see 3.5mm headphone jack, which just pops straight into the top of the Desire here. So that means you can use any normal headphones that you'd use with your iPod or other MP3 player. These particular headphones don't seem to be the best in terms of sound quality. They're sort of quite plasticky, but they do at least come with a built-in microphone and sort of control for your music as well, so you may not be able to see that there. You can answer calls and skip forwards and backwards through your tracks, and also there's a microphone built in on the other side there. So that's all we've got in the box. Also got some little foam earbuds there as well, and a little tie clip by the looks of things. Just moving on to the phone. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the battery in the Desire now, show you how easy a job that is. There's a little fingernail hole here, so you can just stick a nail in there and just literally pull the back cover off. It just literally pops off quite easily. And as you can see, we've got space for the battery, and then a SIM card slot and a micro SD card slot. So if we just grab the SIM card here, and we can just slide that into place in this slot, as you can see, easy peasy. And then a micro SD card. You're going to want one of these because there's not a lot of built-in memory in the Desire. With that large screen and the headphone port, you're going to want to load it up with some videos and music, I expect. And then once you've done that, just slide in the large battery and pop the cover back on. Easy peasy, and literally the cover just goes on the same way as it came off. You just plop it back on and then just push it into place. There's no particular fixings or anything to break off, it just pops on very easily. It's like a soft touch paint on the back here, so it's quite nice and grippy, so you're not tempted to drop the phone. And also it doesn't really show up fingerprints or anything as well, and seems to be quite robust against being scratched in your pocket. There is a shiny HTC logo, as you can see there, and then just beneath that it says with HTC Sense, just to let you know what's going on inside. Then above that we've got a 5 megapixel camera lens. It's autofocus camera, and it has an LED flash this time around as well, which is a worthy addition, nice addition to see. And next to that we've just got the speakerphone grill as well. On the top of the phone we've got the 3.5mm headphone port that we mentioned earlier for listening to music with your normal headphones. And also the on-off power key, which can be used for turning the device on and off, and also sleeping and waking the screen. On the bottom we've just got the micro USB cable slot, which showed you earlier on, and also a microphone pinhole as well. On the right hand side there's nothing really to mention, and on the left hand side, as you can see, we've got the volume rocker up and down to change the ringtone volume, and also the earpiece volume, and the volume when you're watching videos or listening to music. On the front we've got the 3.7-inch capacitive touchscreen display. This is also an AMOLED screen, so it's pretty bright and vibrant. The colours are really nice on it, which I'll show you in a bit. And above that we've just got the earpiece at the top here, and then in this actual black surround at the top either side of the HTC logo we've got some LED indicators for things when like when you're charging the phone or when there's a new message or a missed call. I think there's also an ambient light sensor and a proximity sensor as well for different functions of the phone. Beneath the display you can see we've got some hardware keys, which is quite nice to see rather than the software, sort of soft touch type keys that you sometimes get these days. We've got the home key, menu key, back key, and also the search key, so all very handy buttons, all the usual Android buttons. And we've got this optical joypad in the middle, so this is like a normal sort of D-pad, or like the ball that we've seen on previous Android handsets, so it just works up, down, left and right as you would normally use the ball. and rather than clicking it in, you've actually got this sort of ring just around the outside which you can click to sort of make place for the fact there isn't a ball to click. So it works in the same way as a normal D-pad. Click to enter something, up, down, left and right to select. So overall you can see it's a pretty slim and slick looking handset. Say soft touch plastic on the back and like a metallic sort of, it's like almost a bronzy finish around the display here, and then soft touch on the bottom by the keys again. So we're just going to fire up the device now and show you some of the software side of the phone, which is the best bit. Back in a moment. So as you can see, we've got the HTC Desire fired up now, and you can see the bright AMOLED display with this nice colourful background that HTC have preloaded. And this is the lock screen for the Desire. So if we just drag down the time here, you can see it unlocks the display, and got the weather come up. It's raining outside, so we've got drips of water coming down the screen and a little windscreen wiper flicking across. So we've got the time at the top with all the weather details, and also the area we're in, so the weather that is being shown. I've also got some shortcuts at the bottom here which can be user customized, so if we just tap and hold, you can see we can actually remove any of the icons or move them around the screen as we wish. It's quite handy. Let's move that one back. At the bottom here we've got the menu key, the phone key, and also a key for adding widgets. So we just hit the menu key, there you can see there's all the different programs and settings menus and bits and pieces like that. The phone key goes straight into the dial pad, and also shows you sort of recently called contacts or the contacts list depending on if you've made any calls or not. And then the plus button here, as you can see, shows you can add widgets, program shortcuts and different bits and pieces to the home screen. Just above these buttons there's this little bar here you may be able to see in the middle, and that just shows where we are on the home screen layout of the Desire, because on the Desire we have 7 different home screens. So central home screen here is the main screen, and then we've got 3 extra screens in each direction. You can see the little bar there moves as we flick backwards and forwards between all the screens. And on each of the screens you can completely customize all the different widgets that are kept on the screen. So at the moment we've got some quite large widgets taking up each of our screens, but I can show you now we can change some of them. For example, we've got the weather widget here, which gives us a nice 4-day forecast and the weather for today, and we can set various different locations all over the world that we want to check the weather for. But if we didn't want that widget, we can just tap and hold and drag it straight into the bin here, and then we can tap and hold on the display, find a different widget. So for example, if we want the calendar widget, so we've got a widget there, it's the Android calendar widget. Let's get the HTC one, I think, because that's a bit nicer looking than the Android one, which is one of the benefits of having HTC Sense. So the HTC calendar, we've got a choice of 2. So we've got a large one, or you can go for a slightly different large one, or we can go for just a small link with upcoming appointments. But let's go for another large one, put that one on there. You can see a pretty nice looking widget with all our different appointments in. Then we can just select a day. It shows all the appointments for that day, and also handily shows you the weather for that day as well. So for example, if we go for the next day, it will show us the next day's weather, and so on for up to sort of 4 days in advance. So doesn't do it for any longer than the weather application does, but it's still nice to know the upcoming weather for the next few days. Anyway, also moving on, we've got things like our email inbox here. You can see just in the widget we can scroll through any extra messages that we might have, and then we can actually select a particular message and view that on the screen. We can flick between all our messages just using the buttons here, which is quite handy as well, and then reply in different bits and pieces. So full feature widget for mail, and you can also have more than one mailbox set up to that widget as well. We've also got FriendStream. Now FriendStream is sort of a bit of a mix really of Twitter and Facebook. So if I actually type an update in here, so Desire test message, also gives us a good opportunity to look at the QWERTY keyboard on the Desire. You can see it's a pretty decent sized keyboard, pretty easy to type, but if like me you make a mistake, it also guesses the word, so you've got sort of predictive text on there as well. So if we just tap message, that was what we wanted. And just clicking the share button there will update to both Twitter and also my Facebook account as well. So it updates both accounts with the same message, which is quite handy if you like your social messaging and like to update all your friends on both different sites at the same time. We've also got, a calendar that we had a minute ago. What else do we have set up? Got our favourites as well, so you can set various different favourites. You can set more than 9 and scroll through, but we've just got 9 test accounts here set up, and that just lets you access directly all your contact email address and phone numbers and dial them or message them straight from there, or access messages, mail, updates and events from Facebook, or look at photos on that person's Flickr or Facebook account if you've got one linked, and also any core history that you've got with that person. So it goes straight into the account, or you can even set up so that when you tap their image, you can set a default action so that it defaults to calling that person or emailing or sending an SMS to that person just by tapping their image on the favourites panel. We've also got the new newsfeed widget, which I've not seen before on an Android device. Again, it's a HTC Sense widget though, so you'll only get it on new HTC devices. And this one's we just got set up for Mobile Burn's RSS feed, and all the RSS news that comes through from the Mobile Burn feed comes straight into this widget. So it's pretty handy if you follow RSS feeds to have it straight on your desktop in a widget like this. And then on the last page here, we've just got the bookmarks widget, which is used for your web bookmarks. So you can see we've got Mobile Burn set up here. It actually gives us a nice little icon view of the site. We can just tap on that to go straight to the web page, which, as you can see on the Wi-Fi connection, loads up very quickly indeed. The nice thing as well is with the large screen, obviously the colours are very bright because it's an AMOLED screen, but because it's a WVGA resolution screen as well, even you might not be able to see it in the camera, but even at this most zoomed out view, all the text is still legible. As you can see as well, it's also got the latest version of Adobe Flash, so all the moving ads and stuff on the page load up as well, which is quite nice. And we can do things like pinch zoom or double tap to zoom, and all the text gets reflowed as well, so we can read the page very quickly and easily. And you can see, thanks to the Snapdragon processor, it's very quick to navigate through all the web pages and read the text quickly and scroll. You know, there's no lag at all on it. It's very, very quick indeed.